from November to March
Okay.
when you're not needing a chiller.
There's multiple types of systems, but most homes usually have a furnace inside
That's what I
and
was-
a unit outside.
Right.
This is your outside unit.
Yeah, most part. Again, so really, I don't have to go through all the details, you guys can look through it and see if you got any questions, but for the most part, the first price is a rough budget, for the chiller project, and then the second one would be the major project of redoing all the controls. And also, when we redo the controls, we would replace controls on all the miscellaneous stuff, like your exhaust fans and things that need to be programmed in and running as well, so then all that gets updated. And then you'll have a web-based access, so your maintenance staff can get messages when things stop working or they need to go maintenance something. They get the ability to just open up a tablet or a phone and jump right on and look at what's going on in the building, which is what you currently are like doing at your high school. So.
And our next step would be basically, if you guys decide that you want to do a chiller project, I'm just using that because that is the top priority, you'd have to go out for a request for qualifications. That's a third, that satisfies the state bidding requirements. It's different than hiring an architect where you do a fee for service. This is just a different route through the procurement process. And then it's advertised for 37 days. Whoever's interested can contact Trent as the main contact, unless he chooses somebody else to be that contact. And then sometimes you get one proposal, sometimes you get 5. You can either interview the companies or you can just go with who Trent recommends as well. There's probably in this type of project, there are probably 3 main players, just being transparent in the state of Indiana. It's us, Performance Services, and I think, Johnson Trains does some. When we first started, when I was hired 18 years ago, we built a lot of these projects for Performance Services, for training, for a company called ESG, which was really big 15, 18 years ago. And our company's like, well, why don't we cut out the layer markup and hire sales, and we already have the engineers, because basically those companies would bid out to us, we would install it, they'd mark up our markup. So that's one of the ways we're different. The open book, like I was talking about, nobody else does that where they give savings back. Why we can do that is because we control our manpower, we control all of that. So, and we show all that. That will be an open book to Trent as the projects go on. He can see if we're high. I mean, if we're high, we're not going to charge you more, but if we're low, and I'd say 90% of the time that we do return some type of money. I know Ron and I just are finishing up a project at Shelbyville Schools. It was about $4.5 million, and we just returned $280,000 on that job. So and we also have rebates, and for instance, your chiller, we might get a price for the chiller, say it's $200,000, and then we'll bundle it with one of our companies in Cincinnati or Nevada, and if it's $200,000, but then we bundle these chillers with York, and it comes back once we get the invoice, it's $180 because we bought more chillers. There's more savings to you. That's how other savings happen as well. So, but we're open to any questions or.
What's a realistic timeline? Like, if we decided to do this, what's the realistic timeline to? I mean, like, what do you think? I mean, I know you're saying we have to put out the RFQs. That's 30 days. We still got the facility study that's going to come back. I guess for me, I'd like to see where this project lands on that as well, right? As it gives us all of our other options. But then, like, are we talking spring? Or are we talking next summer? Or?
We're talking, and Ron can chime in as well. One of the things, and that's what we talked to Trent about, that they were worried that there might be a chiller issue next summer, and that's why that was kind of top of the priority list. We're hoping that it makes another year or two. The chiller, how long's the lead time on that?
It's about
chiller?
20 to 22 weeks right now to get a chiller, so.
I don't know when your other study's coming in.
Hopefully August.
Okay.
They're hoping to have it done in August.
Yeah, and the one thing with the RFQ, you can advertise that, and if you so select us, then we're on the board. You don't owe us anything. If you decide not to do any work, I mean, we're only gonna do as much work as you tell us to. And if you say, hey, go full engineer, we would do a letter of intent. That way we could engineer and order it. But I guess what I'm saying is you could go through the RFQ process, and if you decide not to do something, you're not out anything, but at least we're on board, and if you say go, we know what tonnage chiller you have, but then we can start finalizing engineering. And, you know, you start getting that, if it's 22 weeks, you start getting that fall time, and the perfect time would be to do it in the winter, and not shut down your buildings where you have the humidity and stuff in the summer. We have 3 or 4 chiller jobs coming next winter, where we'll have them online for spring. So it's totally whatever you guys wanna do, but that's usually the best time to put them in.
Should know this, what's an RFQ, request?
Request for qualification.
And then how do we compare, so you're doing if you go through the bid process, how do you compare, you guys are basically giving us a max not to exceed cost versus most, I think, the bids that I think we usually get is value engineer or this is what we're gonna do the job for, knowing you're probably gonna get some change orders on. How do we control that, and how do we compare your number to make, to the other,
So, yeah.
lower it? I don't
That's a good
understand how,
question.
is that just
So
like in the
you'll
bid
still
packet?
see the bid. So like I said, the only thing you won't see, cause we use our manpower, Trent will see what we pay every guy for our man, so we don't bid out our labor. It's our, we come out the union hall or the pool. But we bid out, like Ron said, if we have the main piece of equipment, the chiller, let's say we use York as the standard piece, then we would bid out to Train, Daikin, and then you would see those numbers. We would sit down with Trent and say, okay, the Train's 200,000, the Daikin is 210, and the York is 215. So through this process, you can take low bid, but you don't have to. We know your folks don't like Train. We're vendor neutral. We'll use whoever you want us to use, but we'll only use who we're comfortable with using as well, because we have to warranty and all that. So you'll still see the numbers. We'll still bid everything out. You can see whatever you want. It's transparent, open book. And that's where I say on this through this process, and we work with Schmidt all the time. We don't do everything that they do, but we specialize in mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. That's our wheelhouse. But you have a lot more control through this process because it's essentially design build and less risk. We don't put any contingency in the job. What we do is we have everything engineered up front before we go to contract, cover our, cross our T's, dot our I's, and that's where we feel confident enough. Most, and this is nothing against architectural anybody, they usually have 50% drawing. That's why you guys get change order. I mean, we've gotten several mechanical jobs. Shelbyville's the one I just talked about. They were using an architect what am I trying to say? And the GC to look over, kind of like a CMC type of job. And, but they got changed. It wasn't a CMC, it was a traditional, just low bid job. And they got hit for about $500,000 over.
And since we're turning the wrenches and we're controlling the project and we're doing a lot of the work ourselves, the stuff we do sub out, like we don't do sheet metal, we'll sub that out, or pipe insulation. We work with those contractors all the time. They know our expectations, and then once we get the systems installed, we do a commissioning process with our controls, so therefore everything's working like it should. Some of that stuff is what falls through the cracks a lot of times on a typical bid spec. Everybody gets in, does their own job, so that's why it's a little different process. But we're comfortable with our reputation and the jobs we've done in the past, as we're the one point of contact, and then we take ownership of the job for you. So.
And then that letter of intent, you said, so is that like you would bid like the first 3 items, the chiller, the fan, the boilers, and then you'd have a letter of intent for the following items that would be coming up? Or is that letter of intent just for like the 3? I didn't understand that part.
So the letter of intent, Brock, is basically, if you gave us the go-ahead to order the chiller. And let's say it's $1 million contract, just, well, $700,000 contract. We'd probably write the letter of intent for like $200,000, the price of the chiller. And the only reason, that way we could get it ordered. And MCOR makes us do that before we can order any equipment. It's just getting it, and we wouldn't even be at a contract yet, but we know enough already what tonnage unit you need and all that. So that just lets us release the equipment, and it's never happened in the 18 years I've been doing this that anybody's went back on a letter of intent, but basically the letter of intent would state that if you guys decide not to do the job and we're far enough down we can't cancel that chiller order, that you would own the chiller. That's it. And hopefully I answered your question. Yeah. Any other questions?
I'm good.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to public comments, which nobody had signed up for. So item number 4, consideration of minutes from the board meeting on June 9th.
Move to approve regular board meeting and special board meeting.
A second.
Mr. Elliott, Mr. Sears. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 5, consideration of claims. Anything?
There was a few that I forgot to bring my notes over here that I provided you guys ahead of time. Do you have them?
I think the big
Thank
one
you
is
very
debt
much.
service, right?
There were some things that were out of the ordinary that isn't there on a normal month. We made debt payments this month at a little over $2.2 million. That's paying on debt from bonds and things like that. Paid our quarterly bill to MSD Wayne for the Sanders School where we send some students. That was at $65,000. Removal of the old portable over by the elementary, that was $18,500. That's paid out of bonds. We planned for that. Our 4th installment of liability insurance was in there, $28,500. Paid our athletic trainer through Hendricks, that was $30,000. We did some drywall repair in the middle school in the bathrooms that needed that work. That's also paid out of bonds. That was $18,600. And we made a payment toward the urinal replacement project happening around the campus at a little over $111,000. So those are just things that were out of the ordinary that aren't there on a monthly.
I'll move to approve the claims and payroll for 6/6, 6/20, and 7/4. Mr. Kennedy, do I have a second to approve both claims and the payroll?
I'll second.
Mr. Blundell. Any further discussion?
Where did the portable building, where did it end up going?
It was completely demolished.
Was it?
Yeah, it was not,
Who did it?
it could not be salvaged.
Yeah, who did it?
I'd have to go back and look that one up. I can't remember the name of the company that did that. Somebody, Perry.
Yeah.
He talked to a couple different people that had the ability to do that and got quotes from them, and this one seemed to be the most responsive, but I'll get that for you. I can't remember the name of the guy.
All those in favor of approval, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 6, consideration of the personnel recommendations.
Nothing much to add there. It's pretty self-explanatory, unless you have any questions.
I do not. Do we have a motion to approve the personnel?
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Blundell, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr.
Go ahead.
Mr. Sears. Any further discussion on that? Are we just lucky there's no certified in there yet, or are we just waiting on the hammer to drop?
I'm fingers crossed we're gonna be okay.
All those in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion passes 5-0. Item number 7, permission to advertise RFQ for the chiller and control
Yeah, so you heard the presentation from MCOR. My recommendation would be that we go ahead and advertise for an RFQ. It doesn't lock us into anything. It just puts a request for qualifications out there, gets the ball rolling so that once we have the facility study in, and if Schmidt comes back and said, yeah, that's a major priority, we might be able to get going on that pretty quickly. But I think we at least advertise it in the paper and on our website and see if we have anybody come back to us with, interest in talking to us. And I feel like we'd be ahead of the game a little bit if we did that. So that'd be my recommendation to you.
Move to approve.
Mr. Elliott, second.
I'll second.
Mr. Kennedy. Any further discussion on the RFQ?
I guess my only thought is I think we should slow roll that a little bit, in the sense that, we want to make sure we get that facility studies back. You don't want those quotes too soon, right? So take your time to get them out is what I would say. I think it's okay to do, but I wouldn't send them out tomorrow.
When are we expecting that facility study?
They're hoping to be able to be here for the August board meeting and make a presentation. That's what they're shooting for. He said it might be tight, but that's what they're shooting for. But even if they're not here for the August board meeting, they might be here later in August if they don't make the actual board meeting. So they're trying to stay on that 4-month timeline and have it done in August.
How long does it take to do the RFQ?
You have to advertise it for,
It's 37
Yeah.
days, so basically, if you gave approval, I would give it Trent this week, and we could iron out times, but you wouldn't have any selection by August. It would be September at the earliest, because you'll have another board meeting before it's even due, because I've given him a boilerplate RFQ to, and he can tweak it however he would like, but I would help him with the dates, just to make sure we satisfy the state requirements on the dates, and then you're really not even looking at selecting anybody before September.
And that's advertised,
It's just advertising local paper and on your website.
website, or
Yeah,
whoever we reach out to, basically.
yeah.
I'm okay with it. My only concern is I don't want it too much in advance of that facility study, so we can kind of digest that and make sure where it fits in, right? And not be under the gun.
yeah, we can look at dates and
Somebody,
make it.
quoting and having 30 days to accept the quote.
Oh, we wouldn't do that, and.
You may
know
not, but
what?
the other guys might.
Yeah, but hopefully you're gonna select these guys, but with that being said, I'll just use Wabash City Schools as a good example. They knew they were doing a project, they knew they didn't have any money, but they wanted to work with us, and this was like in 2010. They selected us in 2008, so we could be working with their team on everything, and just continue to help through the process and all that. So
Okay.
you don't have to do anything till next year. You don't ever have to do anything, Tom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
But to get the ball rolling, to say, you don't wanna wait and then come September, October, and we potentially could put something in for you if you decided to, and wait for that out, because we can't do anything until that 37 days is up, essentially.
Again, I'm fine with that. That'd be my only concern, is making sure we kind of time all that out and we get the
Sure.
big picture before we make a decision.
All those in favor of the RFQ, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes 5-0.
Thanks again, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Item number 8, board policy. No other updates.
Shelley just told me that it looks like we need to go back and do ECA and contracted personnel. I think you only did, or did you do all 3 at once?
I thought we should do all three.
We
I
did
think
all-
we did all
Did you
three
do
at
all
once.
three?
They're, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all on here at once.
Yeah, the
at
motion,
one.
the motion was for both A and B.
Personnel reports usually separately, and the claims and payroll together.
Claims and payroll together.
Together, but the payroll or personnel reports are usually done separately. But we can do it however you want.
That is true. We
Our
normally do
bylaw
them
was.
separate.
Do we want to make a motion to approve?
ECA would be next.
I'll make a motion to approve the ECA.
I would love to second that.
Thanks, Brock.
Cool.
ECA, Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Sears. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes 5-0.
So the first one was classified.
Yep, classified, then we just did ECA, now you've got contracted.
I'd like to proposal to approve the contract.
Mr. Sears, Mr. Blundell. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Contracted passes 5-0. Now, moving on to
Yep.
item number 8, which is the board policy.
Yep. So this is month 2 of board policy, so this is actually the second read and approval of the Neola updates, which is volume 36.1, 36.2, 37.1, and 37.2. So it is time to, if you wish, to approve those.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mr. Blundell, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Sears, any discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
So on these things, who actually goes through and reads these to make sure that like it makes sense? And, I mean, I go through
Good
and read it
question.
and it's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense, but I
Yep.
mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
are they just handed to us and we're like that, or is there?
So how it works is Neola, the company itself, they're a bunch of lawyers, and they take a look at all the stuff happening in the individual states that they work with, because Neola's not in every state in the union, but they're in a lot. Then they forward that on to the people that work directly with us. We have a person through Neola who takes all those recommendations from the lawyers, brings it to us, and then they go through all of that with us. Because there's certain things that we do have some choices on, obviously, you know that depends on what district it is, what they want to do. So that representative sits down with us, talks us through the stuff that we have to adopt, and then takes us through the different choices that we have, and then that's when we get with you guys and say, okay, here's our choices, or I make a recommendation of the choice I think we should make. So yeah, that's kind of how it works, is yeah, they definitely do get read through. Me and Kelly Kazee and our representative, which is Dr. Jim Halleck. He's a former superintendent, actually, it says a former, he is still a superintendent at Edinburgh. Came out of retirement to do that. He sat down with us before you guys got these, and we went through them and read through them all and made the choices we felt we needed to make, and then you guys get them. So that's kind of how the process works. Yeah.
Was there just so many of them this time because we're, like, the new laws going into effect, or is it just like we were behind and?
We got behind by
This was a
one
lot.
because we knew we had one. We reached out to Jim, and he thought we were up to date. We're like, no, we don't think so. And then he didn't get back with us right away, but then he did. And by that time, another update came in, so that's why we got behind a little bit.
Yeah, it was just a lot, so, okay, thanks.
All those in favor of the approval of the updates, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes 5-0. Consideration of the ECA treasurer.
Yeah, this is just something you do every year, and it satisfies the State Board of Accounts. They want to know that the board has voted to put people in charge of ECA funds and that sort of thing. So it just satisfies State Board of Accounts.
I'll move to approve.
Mr. Kennedy, do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Elliott, any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 10, permission to accept the budget calendar and advertise the 2026 school budget.
Yep, so it's time to start working on the 26 budget. You have in front of you our proposed budget calendar, very similar to what you've seen for years in the past. First thing we'd be doing, if you accept this as our budget calendar, is no later than August 28th, we would post notice on Gateway to the taxpayers of the 26 budgets, the levies, the public hearing, when the public hearing would be, things like that. We will most likely have it done before that. That's just the date we would have to have it in by to meet the next calendar date. And then September 8th would be the public hearing at our September board meeting, and then October 6th actually adopting. So it's pretty standard calendar, same that you guys have seen in the past.
Move to approve.
Mr. Sears, do I have a second?
I can second.
Mr. Kennedy, any further discussion on the budget calendar? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 11, permission to apply for state and federal grants.
Yeah, once again, just another thing you do yearly, just giving me permission to apply for our state and federal grants. It's pretty much all of our title grants is what we'd be applying for. But also some non-title grants that if we feel like we want to go after some money, gives me the permission to go after that stuff. So just a rudimentary thing we try to do every year.
Move to approve.
Mr. Elliott, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Kennedy, any further discussion on the grants?
So, like on a grant, I mean, how many of those are that at the end of year? I mean, is that 3 or 4 that we apply for, or do we apply for 30 of them and we get 10 of them?
As far as title goes, it's Title 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there's 4 right there. You kind of apply for those all together in a way. Trying to think. There's some MLL, multilingual grants that we apply for. There is safety grant, yep, state safety grant. There is also, which one's escaping me? Thank you, high ability. Digital learning. Thank you. So,
Close to 10.
yeah, yeah. I'd say 10 to a dozen sometimes, yeah.
Thank you. Great. Any further discussion on the grants? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 12, resolution for authorization of is that insurance?
Issuance.
Issuance.
Of individual procurement cards.
Yeah. So a little explanation on this. So we currently have credit cards through Citizens Bank. We are asking to, we would close those accounts and move to a credit card that has a little bit different type of structure that helps schools out. This credit card is supported through the Indiana Association of School Board, Indiana Association of School Business Officials, IASBO. And it's through BMO Harris. And it gives us the opportunity to, let's say we give Perry a credit card because sometimes he needs bus parts and things like that. We can set the limit on these cards about anything we want. So let's say we issue them to people who need those and we can set the limit at 500. They know their spending limit is 500, but Perry tells us, I need to go spend $6,000 on these bus parts we need. Mariah can, in a heartbeat like that, change his spending limit up to $6,000. He can go buy the parts. We pay that off, but we also get cash back on expenditures. Just like, some of us have credit cards you get cash back on. We get cash back on expenses. So we can use it to our advantage and pay for certain things using this that would get us cash back and earn a little bit of revenue. Anything I'm forgetting, Mariah?
It's just easier, Citizens doesn't manage their own card, so really the only advantage of having it with them is being able to pay it over there. And I asked them about the cash back. You have to have something like $500,000 for them to not charge you a fee to have a cash back card. This won't have any fees. And just the information I can get, because I've used this card before, online about what was purchased is so much better than what I can get through the online system at Citizens.
Will the internal controls around the spend change? And I ask because we use P cards at my work and
Yeah.
they do get abused. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, we have limits and there's certain things they can't buy. I mean, you can't use them at a casino or something like that, right? But people do kind of take advantage of it, and like our limits are $2,500, and they'll buy $4,000, $2,500 at a time, if you will, right? Which is not allowed in our policy. So I just want to make sure we got proper policies and internal controls around that, and then the checks and balances of who's approving, right? Like I know for us, we go to BMO, that's who we use as well. We have a reviewer that looks at all those transactions and then approves them before they get paid, so that the card holder's not the person approving the transaction.
Correct, and we would use the
I just wanna
same
make sure.
system we do now, is that they would actually do a purchase order for card services,
Okay.
that they wanna use a credit card purchase. or they, you know, and again, we'll probably set the limits really low,
Okay.
so that, you know, I can watch them, whatever.
And
And they have to sign a credit card, usage policy every year. They understand that certain things can't be purchased and that they have to have prior authorization unless it's a complete emergency. You know, like Perry the other day had to go get a minibus that was stuck down and it needed gas.
Great.
So, you know, he's.
Oh, no, they absolutely have a place.
Yes,
I mean,
we
I'm all for it. It's
still
just,
have the controls in place.
And a good checks and balances you talked about is, Mariah and I both see, no bills get paid without both Mariah and I seeing them. She looks at them first, she sends all the bills to me, I look at every single one, I initial that I've looked at them, so if there's something, and there's been times I've come over to her and say, what is this? I'm not quite sure what this is, so yeah, we take it very seriously.
just as long as we have the proper
Yep.
checks and
Yep,
balances. That's all I had
absolutely.
to ask.
Do I have a motion to approve the issuance of the individual procurement card?
I'll move to approve.
I'm gonna say Mr. Kennedy, second, Mr. Blundell, second. Any further discussion?
Will we not have any relationship with Citizens Bank, anything there with them now?
No, we still have accounts there with them for just our regular banking, and we have a CD with them still. So it'll just be, we still wouldn't have credit cards with them.
Yeah.
All
I just
the
want,
other
I just want to make sure, you know, just small town, small community.
Absolutely.
You know, they do a lot
Absolutely.
for us. I don't know, to me,
We're
it
still
seems,
doing everything with them except
Yep.
the credit cards. And again, they don't, they farm that out anyway. They really don't service them themselves. I went over there the other day trying to pay, and I didn't have the full card number, and they didn't even have any way to look it up.
Yep.
It's just not something they do, so it's just
So
easier
we-
to.
Yeah, we really have about the same relationship we already have, just not with credit cards, so,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't have any intention to change that.
hope this isn't the first step in moving away from
No, absolutely
No.
small
not.
town.
I love Citizens. I will tell you that I have banked
They've been great to us.
with several banks, and I tell them all the time, they are a small town bank that have all the big bank perks, you know, the positive pay and stuff, the convenience. I absolutely would not wanna move our relationships from them at all.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-1. Item 13, consideration of cell phone reimbursement, employee list updates.
Yep, just wanted to put this to your, for your possible approval, it's a list of all those employees that get a cell phone reimbursement for, cell phone usage for, school issues, things like that, so that would be my recommendation to approve those.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Blundell, Mr. Sears, I will be abstaining my vote in this. Any further discussion on the phone list reimbursement? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Item number 14, consideration of the Monroe-Gregg Middle School Student Handbook updates.
Yeah, you have the suggested changes in front of you highlighted. A lot of it is either, you know, changing of dates and things like that, or updating policies that have changed through the state, things like that. I think there maybe have been just a couple like discipline chart type things, but I looked through there and it didn't seem to be anything that really caught my eye, nothing controversial, so I would make that the recommendation to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Elliott, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Kennedy, any further discussion on the handbook? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Item 15, consideration of Title II grant training stipend.
Yeah, so we offered to teachers that if they were willing to do some Project Lead the Way training, that would then allow them to do some of those lessons in their classrooms. And obviously, Project Lead the Way is centered a lot around science and engineering and math and things like that, that we would pay them a small stipend for doing that training. So I believe we had 18 teachers do that training, which is wonderful. And we offered $60 out of the Title II grant, which goes toward professional development to those teachers. So I'm making that recommendation to approve those stipends.
Do you have a motion to approve the stipend?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mr. Blundell, second.
Second.
Mr. Sears. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion passes 5-0. Next up, item 16, permission to purchase the PA audio communication systems for the district.
Yeah, so for a few months now, we've been working on what we need in our buildings as far as PA systems. We've started having some issues in all three of our buildings with PAs, whether it's our administrators not being able to do stuff from their phone they should be able to do over the PAs, like make an announcement from their office, things like that. I know middle school is having all kinds of issues. Brandy can't really do that from her phone. She has to go out to the office, which, you know, if it's an emergency, you want that to be able to work right from your office. Speakers that have been non-functional, things like that. So we started asking for quotes from companies that we knew do this type of work, ended up getting 4 back. In the end, we ended up, or the recommendation I'm making to you would be to go with a company called Wasiga, along with Howard Technology Solutions. I can tell you right now, they were not, this was not the lowest quote, but there's a reason behind that. Wasiga is able to provide us with a cloud-based system, which is going to be very advantageous for Sam Dobbs, and he's going to be able to chase issues with this through his desktop. Whereas before, somebody has an issue, speaker, whatever, he's chasing wiring and all kinds of different things and might still never figure it out. So this will allow him to do stuff from his desktop. It will also allow our office staff in each building to program like the bell schedule, things like that from a desktop, because it's not going to be analog. That also means we're not going to have kind of the big unsightly stacks of the PA systems in the offices. Those can go away. Makes the offices look a little bit better without those big stacks of analog equipment there. Scott Hamilton, our security officer, has some experience with Wasiga and really likes them also. He's seen some other schools that have used them, and they seem to like them really well. I actually worked with Fairchild Communication, which is one of the other quotes that you got. We used them at Eastern. They did fine, but once again, they couldn't provide a cloud base, which I think is really advantageous. It's just a little bit more technologically advanced in my opinion. So you see the pricing there at the high school, middle school. Overall, that price is $151,722 and some change. And then the elementary's $91,636 and some change. So this would be bond funds once again. We felt this was needed, like I said, because of security and safety of our building. So that's the recommendation that I would be taking to you.
I think the other difference you called out in your memo was the reuse of speakers, right? I think this
Thank
was
you.
all new speakers, where the other companies were using the existing analog speakers and not replacing up to all of them, I think.
Correct. These would be all brand new speakers, which we felt was needed, and the other companies were kind of like, well, we could reuse this, reuse that, which I could have looked at them and said, no, I think we need to do completely new, but it's kind of like, well, you bring that to us, you tell us that we need all new. So anyway, yeah, good point that all new speakers also.
And from a safety standpoint, you did say that there's areas where it's not functioning.
Right, yeah, right now, we get reports from teachers that they can't hear certain announcements because speakers have gone out and things like that. So yeah, we'll want to get that taken care of.
I don't think it matters.
Before you ask for the motion, when we don't accept the low bid, we have to have in our minutes the reasons why.
Yep.
So maybe you could summarize for the record, the reasons why you're not recommending the low bid, and that can be part of the motion then.
Yeah.
And then when our minutes are prepared next time, those reasons should be in there.
Yeah, I've got the, I'll just use what I put in the memo. I'll get that to Shelley and she can use the reasons I gave the board.
Should we be concerned with the expired July 6th, 2025 on it?
The quote.
You tell
No.
me.
No, it's not, well,
Okay.
Wasiga has agreed to, honor the pricing.
Yep,
Good deal.
good question though.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Elliott, Mr. Sears. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna abstain with that.
No.
Mr. Kennedy,
And that'll be done before the school year starts?
I don't know that that's gonna be the case, cause that'd be, cause of
Quick.
the wiring and stuff, so we're gonna have to work with them on the best way to do that, cause obviously we don't wanna completely shut down PA systems.
Right.
So we'll be working with them to figure out the best way to get that done.
Mr. Kennedy abstained, and that motion passes 4-0. Next up is item 17, which is other.
I have a few updates I can discuss here a little bit. We're talking about the facility study a little bit. Schmidt came and met with the core group last week, or actually we did a virtual meeting. They wanted to talk about the progress since our last core group meeting and since the last board meeting when they gave a update. They're moving along. I'm really impressed with everything they've gotten done in such a short amount of time. So Kevin, the lead, said that he really hopes to be done by the next board meeting and be able to come and give a good presentation. And obviously from there it goes to staff and community. We'll get that out to everybody. He said if not, they're still hoping to be done sometime in August and they'll still be able to make a presentation to everybody. So that's moving along really well. The urinal project in our buildings is progressing pretty well. Should be ready to go for school. They're about to the point where we're just gonna, paint, cosmetic, stuff like that. A few hiccups here or there with when they got in there and saw some of the plumbing and had to replace some piping that was deteriorating and things like that. So there were a few change orders here and there, but we had that money built in. Middle school gym bleachers are 99% done. If you want to go down there and take a look at some point. Still a little bit messy. They still need to clean up some things, but the seats are in and they look really good. It makes a big difference. I'm waiting on an update from Energy Harness on kind of where we're at with the lighting. Last update I had, they're working on some areas that they missed some lights here or there, and we did a walkthrough to see where those were, so they know where all those are at, and they still need to get going on our outdoor sporting, but that should be done before any of our, sports have contests and things like that at night. So as soon as I hear where they're at, I'll get you guys some information on that update too. So I think that's about it for me.
Next up, item 18, which is final public comments. If anybody has a comment, you have 2 minutes. State your name, address, purpose.
Steve Bain, 380 West Crestview Drive. Again, it's about the big agenda, and I know you guys already voted on it, but I do have a question. The policy about class size, it says that you are taking it out, but I guess my question is, as a former teacher here, a lot of times there were classes that were added, and I know you guys just went through the curriculum, that at one point, no students even signed up for it, and the class was still there. And there are also times where there are class sizes that have maybe only 5 or 6 students, where other classes that are required have way more students. So I don't know if there could be a consideration where the classes that are required and a teacher can teach it and only has 12 students. Because this board looks at policy, so I really think that should be a consideration in discussing class sizes, because I think if there's a required class and there's 40 students, 20 and there's only a class with 12, I mean, you have the Edmonton program that could be taught. It's just something to think about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, I should have had you go up to the podium.
Yeah, I forget about that too, so.
I forgot.
Violating.
Do it
rules.
again.
No.
We don't want the
You can
state
start
coming
over,
after
but-
us.
No, just the new streaming would be able to, everybody to hear it. No, you're fine, you're fine.
Are there any other comments? Then, item 19, I just need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Mr. Elliott, do I have a second?
Oh, I'll second.
Mr. Sears, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes 5-0, 7:30. Official time.
Thanks, everybody, for coming.